What's up? This is Altarik here. So when it comes to smart trainers, there are usually two categories. First, you have the high-end trainers loaded with all the bells and whistles, and these are typically priced over $800 and offer excellent build quality, seamless connectivity, reliable power accuracy, smooth erg mode experience, and realistic road feel. They're designed to give you that pro indoor riding experience. Then there is that lower price category, which often sacrifices on quality in one or more areas, whether it's accuracy, road feel, or connectivity, or just features in general. And these budget-friendly options can leave you feeling like you're missing out on some of these features. But that's where the JetBlack Victory stands out. It offers solid road feel, impressive power accuracy, smooth erg mode performance, all the connectivity features that you can think of, and a well-built design, all for just $399 US. That's right, $399 US. The JetBlack Victory is also Zwift ready, straight out of the box. It comes with the Zwift cog and Zwift click pre-installed. You can replace the cog with a regular cassette if you would like, but this means it works seamlessly with Zwift's virtual shifting. And with the Zwift cog, it is compatible with the Zwift Ride frame and Zwift controllers if you plan on ever upgrading to the Zwift Ride in the future. But the Zwift cog makes a trainer compatible with any 8 to 12 speed bike without needing to change or worry about cassette compatibility. So as long as your bike physically fits on the trainer, you're good to go. But the downside of that is you're sort of locked into Zwift. And the JetBlack Victory is also Bluetooth FTMS compatible, supports up to 2 simultaneous Bluetooth connections. So this means you can pair it with apps like Zwift and Trainer Road at the same time. I've actually used it like this a few times, pairing it with Trainer Road to control the trainer for structured erg workouts while connecting it to Zwift as a power meter, cadence sensor, and a heart rate monitor. And this way I can just follow the workout on Trainer Road and enjoy Zwift's visuals, collect points, and unlocking badges, etc. Okay, as I mentioned earlier, the JetBlack Victory supports Bluetooth FTMS, and it also supports ANT plus FEC, Wi-Fi connectivity, and USB-C. The USB-C options lets you connect the trainer directly to your PC if you prefer a wired connection over wireless. That said, no app currently supports this feature, so its usefulness is not useful. However, it's great to see this as a forward-thinking addition or future-proofing if apps decide to enable direct connections in the future. Another cool feature is Bluetooth bridging. You can pair your heart rate monitor to the trainer itself, and the trainer will rebroadcast your heart rate along with your power and cadence data. So this simplifies the pairing process and especially useful for Apple TV users as it consolidates all three metrics into one connection, and this leaves you with an extra Bluetooth slot for other devices. The trainer also supports 10 Hz mode, often called race mode in the indoor cycling world. This enables faster power updates, which makes your avatar basically more responsive during changes in power, and this is perfect if you do a lot of racing. As for performance, the trainer supports gradients up to 16%, which is more than enough for most indoor rides. It can handle up to 1800 watts of power, and it measures that with an accuracy of plus minus 2%. It also features auto calibration, which kicks in when you freewheel for 3 seconds. It is recommended to do a manual calibration when you first set it up, after moving the trainer or when switching bikes. It's also a good habit to recalibrate once a month or so to ensure top performance and best accuracy. Personally, I calibrated mine once I got it, so do as I say, not as I do. But it's been rock solid ever since. And speaking of the JetBlack app, it's your go-to tool for managing the trainer. You can use it to check for firmware updates, run manual calibration, set up Wi-Fi configuration, and even perform basic workouts if you would like. But this is also where you can pair your heart rate monitor to enable rebroadcasting it. So for example, here I have paired my Chorus heart rate band with it. The trainer will pick up my heart rate and rebroadcast it to the app. This means in the connection screen, you can just select the JetBlack trainer as your source for power, cadence, and heart rate, all in one connection. This makes the pairing process incredibly simple, and as I mentioned earlier, it is particularly beneficial for Apple TV users. As for the ride feel, the Flywheel weighs about 10 pounds or 4.7 kilograms, And overall, it feels really good. It's not quite on par with high-end trainers or even the Wahoo Kicker Core, but it's still very solid. And honestly, the majority of riders will not notice a difference. Now, I'll admit that my legs tend to be a little too sensitive to these things, so I noticed it at first, but after a couple of rides, I completely stopped thinking about it and it felt perfectly fine. And here's another great thing about this trainer. The trainer is very quiet. The only noises that you'll hear are from your bike chain or the sound of your fans. Okay, let's move on to the fun stuff and talk about power measurement. According to the specs, the Victory measures power with an accuracy of plus minus 2%, but in my experience, it has performed even better than that. I ran a number of tests and compared the Victory's power reading with my Garmin Rally pedals, Wahoo power pedals, and Osceola power meter, and Power to Max NG, and the results were very solid across the board. But let's take a look at an example here from a 2-hour workout that I did. The first 90 minutes were done in erg mode and the last 30 minutes were in standard mode with erg mode turned off. So let's zoom into the last 30 minutes section. The average power here between the Victory and Osceola pedals were almost identical, 149 watts for both. When we zoom into the sprint sections, you can see some slight differences. In the first sprint, the JetBlack measured about 70 watts lower than the Osceola, but the second sprint was almost spot on. Now, going back to that first 90 minute in erg mode, one thing that you will notice is how smooth the power readings are from the Victory. So JetBlacks apply some power smoothing in erg mode, which keeps the power reading very steady, like you see here, right around 225 watts, only fluctuate by 1 or 2 watts. So real power meters don't behave that way. They tend to fluctuate a lot more, so this might feel less real to some riders. Personally, I'm not a big fan of power smoothing, but it does not affect how the intervals feel or how the workout performs. It's purely a cosmetic thing, and it does not affect how any of the workout feels. So overall, the power measurements are super accurate with averages that align closely with my other power meters. So I'm very happy with how solid the Victory is in this area. But when it comes to erg mode performance, the Victory has been very solid. Transitioning between intervals were very smooth. For example, in this section where I'm doing 20-second intervals, the trainer takes about a couple of seconds to transition from one power target to the next. That is exactly what you want. You do not want it to be too fast or too slow. And surprisingly, the Victory also handled low cadence intervals very well. This is an area where many trainers tend to struggle, but the Victory had no trouble maintaining power even when pedaling at very low cadence. As you see here, it transitioned from one interval doing 50 to 60 RPM to the next without any problems. As for heart rate rebroadcasting, if we scroll down to the heart rate section, you can see how well the Victory rebroadcasted my heart rate data. It did not miss a beat. Solid performance there. On the cadence side, the Victory estimates cadence rather than measuring it directly, and I did notice some strange behavior here. The averages were good, but occasionally there were odd drops in cadence here and there. So here are my thoughts on the JetBlack Victory. The trainer is priced at $400 with a $25 flat shipping fee, so about $425 total. They are currently taking pre-orders and ramping up production, so availability should improve soon. Now, with lower price trainers, I usually give them a bit of a slack because you expect compromises, whether it's in features, build quality, road feel, or something else. But that's not the case with the Victory. Sure, you'll get slightly better road feel with higher end trainers, but honestly, the difference is very minimal. And after a few rides, I found myself thinking, yeah, this feels really good. What really stands out is that the Victory offers more features than some of the higher end trainers like Wi-Fi connectivity, race mode, and USB-C connections. That doesn't work now, but hopefully will work in the future, at a fraction of the price of those higher end trainers. And what JetBlack has accomplished here is truly impressive, and this kind of innovation that will push other companies to hopefully lower their prices even further without sacrificing on quality or features. Well done, JetBlack. Well done. there you have it, folks. Hopefully this was helpful. Thanks for watching, and do not forget to tap that like button. And if you are still watching but have not subscribed yet, you know what to do. Thanks again, and I'll catch you in the next video.